So I saw a tweet that made a very bold claim, saying that Scrooge McDuck is single-handedly responsible for creating anime. The claim comes from the idea that Osamu Tezuka, the creator of Astro Boy and Kim of the White Lion, who later influenced great modern anime artists like Akira Toriyama, was heavily influenced by Scrooge McDuck comics when he was younger. So I had to dig deeper and find out how much of that is really true. One of Tezuka's earliest inspirations, according to him, was his mother. His mother apparently inspired confidence and creativity through the experiences that they shared together. His mother would often take him to the Takarazuka Grand Theater, where the Takarazuka Revue was often performing. The Takarazuka Revue was an all-woman troupe that apparently inspired many things for Osamu Tezuka, including costume designs for the characters, and their big eyes and their performances inspired his art style later. His father also showed him many Disney films when he was younger, so now we're starting to kinda get into Scrooge McDuck territory. He apparently became a huge Disney buff after this experience and apparently watched Bambi over 80 times. Because of this huge inspiration from Disney, he decided to take up drawing when he was in the 2nd grade. He apparently drew so much that his mother had to go back to the earlier parts of his sketchbook and erase them so that they could keep up with his output. It's also important to note that Tezuka has stated on record that watching the film Princess Iron Fan is actually the turning point where he decided, yes, I want to become an animator. According to Tezuka's website, Tezuka was also inspired by Umino Junzo's Martian Army Corps, which was serialized in a newspaper at the time. Umino Junzo is considered the founding father of Japanese science fiction, which explains all of the sci-fi elements that come in Astro Boy later on. Even before that, Tezuka had published 3 different science fiction works, which included Lost World, Metropolis, and Next World, which all featured steampunk elements in science fiction. So I think it's safe to say that this artist had a huge influence on what kind of works that Tezuka wanted to create. That's not to say that Tezuka wasn't inspired by Disney at all later on. I mean, if you just look at Astro Boy, it's a story about a near-perfect robot that wants to learn more about human emotions to become even more perfect and serve humanity. And I don't know about you, but that premise sorta sounds like another very popular Disney movie. You can even see that later on there's a very familiar duck that shows up in one of Astro Boy's comics. Tezuka was also really interested in Norakuro by Tagawa Hosui. When you look at Norakuro, it's an anthropomorphic dog that was actually inspired by Felix the Cat. So I feel like the elements of Kimbo the White Lion where they speak to each other could have been inspired by this series as well. So it's kind of looking to me that there are elements of Disney that inspired a lot of Tezuka's works, but nothing about Scrooge McDuck specifically, and certainly not single-handedly creating anime. The thing that I've seen most people say is that the art style and especially the eyes are what inspired things like Astro Boy and Tezuka's art style. But I think there's enough to show that there are other experiences and moments that inspired Tezuka overall. If you guys think I'm wrong and want to talk about it more, I'd love to see what you guys want to discuss in the comments. Influences by other media are kind of weird because you have to take the creator's word as the truth. But I mean, Disney still denies that Kim of the White Lion didn't inspire them, and I feel like that's kind of a load of bull. So if you think there's any nuances or things that I potentially missed, I'd love to see that in the comments as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you want to see more anime content. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you all next time.